Hi, my name is Padgett, and I am the founder of Redefining Sobriety. And I wanted to share with you an important topic for this month. I'm recording this video at the beginning of February. And, February is often known to be the month of love. It's Valentine's Day. In Mexico, where I live, they celebrate it as the day of love and friendship, which I also love, that we celebrate all kinds of love. And I wanted to talk about this theme because it's something that really is underpinning everything that we do at Redefining Sobriety, the choices that we make for ourselves, the changes that we make to our relationship to alcohol. So much of it has to do with our own relationship to ourselves. And when my clients first start working with me, they often are trying to avoid the negative consequences around their drinking, around stress and how it impacts their lives. They're waking up in the mornings not feeling good about themselves, things like that. So it's often trying to avoid negative consequences or impacts. And what ends up happening with time is that the more that we move away from the negative consequences of choices that we're making in our lives, or repeating certain behaviors or patterns, we also realize that we have the possibility to move closer to a whole new relationship with ourselves. And really, what that is learning to love ourselves differently. But there's a lot of talk about self-love, and I feel like it's kind of elusive for a lot of people. So I really wanted to just kind of break it down in a really simple way today. Step one of loving yourself is just learning how to show up for yourself differently. It's doing things a little bit differently than you might have before. It's breaking out of an old pattern or an old belief, something that you thought about yourself that you believe to be true about yourself. It might be changing your routine a little bit. It might be learning to put yourself first, especially if you are a people pleaser. And part of a really important way that you can do that is through a morning practice or a daily practice, again, of just showing up for yourself a little bit differently. And so I'm a big fan, you probably already know this about me if you've watched any of my videos or worked with me, of journaling and of having a practice of checking in with yourself. And so what I recommend for this month, just to explore it, just to see how it goes, is to pick a theme for yourself. And so a way that you can do this is to really think of something that you often look for in others and seek in others, whether that be nurturing or stability or validation or focus, getting things done. If you find yourself consistently looking towards another person to help you fulfill a certain need or access a certain part of yourself, what if you placed intention this month on giving yourself that thing that you most look for in other people? And you can start off every morning or whenever you do have some time to do some journaling with a practice that involves asking yourself, how might I get closer to that feeling that I seek in others? How might I start to give that more to myself? And the answer might be clear, it might not be clear right away, and that's okay. But even the simple act of what seemingly simple act of sitting down with yourself and asking yourself that question is how you start to show up for yourself differently, and that is also how you learn to love yourself differently. You might want to pick a nice journal for this month. Again, it's the month of love, and so I've had this was actually given to me a couple of years ago, and I've had this journal sitting on my shelf for quite a long time. And I decided to pick a theme for this month of devotion to self, and just really reflecting on what that means. I spend a lot of time energetically serving other people. I'm also a mom. I do a lot of things for my daughter's school, so there's a lot of energy out for me. And so I've been exploring this theme of, well, what does devotion to self look like for me? What if I were to give that same amount of care and attention and energy that I give outward? What if I turned some of that inwards towards myself? And I really loved, I opened up this book and I read the beginning of it, and it's a collection of artwork called Letters of Love, from an artist called Wissam Shawkat. And it says that this artist explores words about love and loving feelings. So I thought, well, I will focus this book on words about love and loving feelings, but directed towards myself. So I'm hoping that I can fill this all in the month of February. That's my personal goal. I'm a few pages, I'm this far in so far, and it's the 4th of February. So, so I'll update you later. And so I would love to hear from you. What is your intention for the month? What is the word or the phrase or the feeling that you're going to devote to yourself this month, to your practice? And how might you explore that in your journaling, in your meditations? And again, you don't have to have all the answers, that's okay. I was talking to a client last night who was talking about one of the things that she really misses about her ex was that her ex was incredibly nurturing, and she gave her a lot of love and a lot of care, which is also something that she hadn't received from her own family when she was younger. And so we talked about how she might start looking at how she can nurture herself differently. And she said, well, sometimes I don't even know what that means, you know? And that's okay if you feel confused about this. Again, it's just being open to asking yourself the question and setting an intention around finding it out, being open to awareness, being open to a divine download, being open to, to other people maybe giving you inspiration around how you might be treating yourself differently. But really, again, as I said in the beginning of the video, just coming back to making a choice every day to check in with yourself and to check in with your theme or your intention for the month every day, and see what I might be able to do, or what thought I might be able to shift to move me a little bit more towards this feeling. And this, again, seemingly simple act of showing up for yourself differently is an act of self-love. It's an act of treating yourself differently. It's saying to yourself, I'm not going to do things exactly the same way I did things before. I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I don't know what that looks like every day. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I trust that making this shift in how I am in relationship to myself is going to have a positive outcome, and I'm going to learn to think about myself differently, treat myself differently, do things differently in my day, have a different routine, and that's all really a part of loving myself and taking care of myself differently. I am creating a PDF, so there should be a link underneath this video for a PDF all about some self-love practices that you can start to implement this month. So feel free to download that, and if you have any questions at all, I would love to hear in the comments. And of course, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to be notified when these videos go live, or follow me on IGTV as well, and you will get notified when I have new videos. And thanks again for following.